In this video, I'm going to tell you how remote sales changed my life in just 12 months. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you the exact framework to follow to do the exact same. My life before remote sales. I worked any 9-to-5 job you could imagine. I worked at writing stores. I worked in normal 9-to-5 call center jobs. I worked in sales and talk. The best way I can describe a 9-to-5 is dog work. You're literally a dog and your manager or boss is holding you by a leash. I remember there would be times where I'll stand up from my desk and then I'd walk out the office to go to the toilet. And then my manager will tell me, "Where are you going?" And I used to think to myself, I'm going to the toilet. And I used to always think to myself, this is not life. I'm coming here, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. I'm getting the Met, I'm getting on the tram, it's freezing. I come in maybe 2 minutes late. I'm getting shouted at saying, "Oh, that's another strike. We have another disciplinary action." You're literally treated like a dog. You're treated like it was in primary school. That's the best way I can describe a 9-to-5. It's like you're in primary school, the way you're treated. I remember there was one time when all my friends went on holiday. We were young, we all went on holiday. They all went on holiday. And I remember I asked for time off. And my manager said, "We're understaffed. No, I can't give you time off." I was like, please. I was begging for my own time. I was like, please, when I come back, I'll put extra work. I'll hit my targets. And then he said no. And then I remember I went home and I was so angry. I was on the mat. I was so angry. My fist was just clenched. I was like, I need to escape. I need to find a way out. I need to find a way out. Nothing in life mattered. I was broke. I was working 60 hours a week if you add the commute. Because 9-to-5 is not actually 9-to-5. It's 7-to-7. So when you add a commute, we're talking about 60 hours I was giving my time to this man who didn't give a fuck about me. And I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. It was when I was living in Manchester. So I remember I stumbled across, I wouldn't say his name, the mentorship I paid for. I drained all my savings. I remember I asked my sister to borrow me some money as well to pay for this course. And then I paid for the course and then it just changed my whole mindset about sales. The course was amazing. I'm not going to down the course. But then, this was in 2022. So 4 years ago. And then when the course finished, I thought in my head, okay, they're going to place me into a remote sales role. And that wasn't the case. And I was like, what do I do? So then they told me, make Loom videos. A lot of you that are in the remote sales space already, who are applying for roles, you know exactly what I'm trying to say because you're currently going through it when you can't find the office. So make Loom videos. I was sending Loom videos to literally everyone, literally reaching out to about 50 companies a day, asking if they need a remote sales closer. I'm the best. Look at my role plays I've done with my coach. And none of that matters. I was applying for about 2 years. I couldn't land an offer. And I was thinking, at this time, I was still doing a 9-to-5. So after I finished my shift, I'll go and apply to roles and I wasn't hearing anything back. And I was so angry. I've invested so much into this course. I thought I was going to get a remote sales role. I couldn't land an offer. And then you start to think maybe it's my sales skills. And it's not, because you can get training, but the most important thing is access to roles. In this remote sales space, if you're just cold outreaching to land an offer, you're competing with about 1,000 people a day. You're not going to land the best offers doing that. So magically, because I kept on consistently applying for 2 years, I landed an SMMA offer and I landed an e-com offer. Those two offers I still do to this day. I started those offers late 2024. For that 12-month period to the end of 2025, I was doing as much calls as possible. I was still in this 9-to-5, but after my 9-to-5, I will then tell my offer owner to put as much calls as possible in my calendar after 6 p.m. Once I got home and I started doing calls. So I went from making after tax £2,000 a month after tax. And in them 12 months, no, the first 2 months of being on that e-com offer and the marketing agency, I made £8,000 in commissions. And I was like, wow, this is real. I've only put in less hours compared to my 9-to-5. I worked on my own schedule. I didn't have to ask, can I please use the toilet? Can I get time off? There was nothing like that. And after that month, the end of 2024, December, I then stopped working a 9-to-5. And then I used to think to myself when I was working this remote sales role, making money is not about how hard you work. It's about how smarter you work. So let's say, for example, there used to be always times to do overtime in work. And I always think the only way to make more money is to do overtime. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this now thinks the same thing. You think the only way to make more money if I should give more of my time to a boss, and it's not. It's about being in the right system and providing value to make sure your income will increase and there's no ceiling. Because the thing about a 9 to 5, the thing about having a job that's secure, it's not really secure, is it? Because if you could turn up late about 3-4 times, you can get sacked, disciplinary action, you're gone. You don't really own anything. You don't own your own time, and that's a scary thought to think of. You can't book a last minute trip because 1, you can't afford it, and 2, you're paid just enough to cover your bills and there's nothing left, and 3, you've not got the time. You're not going to get the time off. Let's say if you're a teacher, you can only book holidays during school breaks. That's not life. That's when things are more expensive. Let's say if you're a construction worker, how can you tell your manager, your boss, oh, I'm not going to turn up tomorrow, I'm just going to go IB with the boys? You can't do that. You can do it if you want, but you'll come back to no job. And you need that security. That's what they pay you, just enough so you can cover your bills and you've got nothing less. So you still have to turn up to work the next month. The way remote sales changed my life is I started going on more trips. I seen money as a tool to buy freedom. So I was making £8,000 a month, and then I started to go to £12,000, and I was making that consistently, doing my calls, doing my role plays, really working hard and not giving up. What a lot of people think remote sales is like a get rich quick scheme, and it's not. There's times when you'll get on a call, you'll hear no. You can go 10 days without getting a close, but you just follow the framework you're given. You keep on going consistently. The more no's you hear, the closer you are to a yes. It's with anything in life. If you keep on going, you can't miss a lucky day if you never take a day off. That is one of the best quotes I've heard. So the way my life changed, I managed to save a lot of money, create a very good safety net, making this money consistently, not drastically changing my lifestyle, by giving more to my family, going on nice trips, last minute trips. The boys will message me and say, yo, Mike, we're going this and that. Yeah, I'm on. Let me know. Let's book the flights now. That's what really changed my life about remote sales. I never really wanted to have the big cars, anything like that. I just wanted freedom. If I know my bills are paid, my family are well, that's good for me, and I'm free. So then remote sales was really good. Then I moved to Dubai, mainly moved to Dubai because I wanted to avoid the UK tax. And UK is very good, but for what you pay, for what you get, the maths didn't make sense for me. So I moved to Dubai. I'm just living the dream at the moment. The freedom, being around like-minded business people. With these skills and all these role plays I learned, I then thought to myself, let me create an academy where we train people and we give them the guaranteed placement. So I started doing content. I wanted to show people that there's more to life than what you're currently doing. It's not that you're dumb, it's not that you're stupid. You're a hard worker, but you're putting your effort, your time, your energy, your health into the wrong system. You need to put your time in something else. You need to give value to a system, and the system will reward you, and there's no cap. So what we do at the Remote Sales Academy is quite different to a lot of other programs. Many programs that charge you thousands, that will put you on 24-month payment plans. They will give you the training, and the training will be amazing, but it's all about the placement. I spent 2 years sending Loom videos, cold calling coach owners, messaging them on LinkedIn just to try and find an offer. I spent 2 years of my time and I didn't give up. And a lot of you watching this that are in the remote sales space, you're sending Loom videos and you're close to giving up. And I don't blame you. So what we wanted to do at the Remote Sales Academy is to scrap all that. Scrap all you having to send Loom videos to offer owners. Once you complete your training in 90 days, we have various companies who take closers from us. That's who they take closers from. So we then place you, we'll set up a group chat, you, myself, and the offer owner, and then you jump on a call and then you get started. You're not sending Loom videos. I know I keep saying Loom videos because the amount of Loom videos I receive on my Instagram saying, do you need closers? I'm like, fuck off. I don't need closers. I don't want to watch your Loom video. I'm not spending 5 minutes of my time to watch your Loom video. That's the same way other people think about when you're sending Loom videos. So no Loom videos. There's no interviews. You're directly placed into this offer. So with the Remote Sales Academy, you scrap out 2 years of applying to offers that I had to go through. It takes you 90 days to get placed into a role. A lot of people will say, I'm new to sales, it's not going to work for me. And that's a blessing. It's a blessing that you're new to sales and you want to go into remote sales because you've got no bad habits. I've been on calls with people that say, let's do a role play, I'll show you I'm good. I've been trained by so and so for so many years. I'm doing the role play and I'm thinking to myself, you are fucking shit. They come in here with all the ego. So when you're new, it's good because you've got no ego. You don't need to retrain. And retrain can take more than 90 days. The best people that I've coached, they're new to sales and it's a blessing. A lot of people who come say, I've been trained by so-and-so, I've got 5 years of experience in remote sales. When I get on a role play with them, I'm like, you're actually shit, bro. Like, you are shit. Because you come with all this ego, you think you don't need to do training. And it's longer to retrain someone than actually you being new. You absorb the information correct. Because when you retrain someone, they say, oh no, he told me not to do it like that. You're just like, just listen to me. It's a blessing being new to sales and wanting to get into remote sales. I currently train a teacher in the UK who's getting into remote sales. And it took her 14 days to get hired into an offer. Because she was a teacher. She understands psychology. She knew how to speak to people. She knew how to listen. And she knew how to not sell, which is the blessing about remote sales, because you're not selling, is the psychology behind sales, how to get someone to open up. And that's what she was really good at. And training only took her 14 days to get put into a company. A lot of people message us and say, can I just pay for placement? And I understand that. The logic makes sense. You can pay for placement. And once we place you into that offer, you're going to damage our brand, because the offer owner will be like, you've not been trained by the Remote Sales Academy. We can just tell by the way you're speaking, the way you structure your call. And then you lose that offer. I understand why a lot of you say, can you just place me into a company? I don't need training. It's because you want some sort of discount and the price will still be the same. So is it not better to get the training and get the guaranteed placement? Another thing a lot of people say is, you're just selling a course. You're a course seller. Okay, I'm a course seller. But I give placement guarantee. I give you a role after. And what they say is, okay, if this works and your system works, why not just place me and I'll pay once I start making money? The reason that is because I've tried that before. I've placed 5 people before who didn't pay, and they wanted to pay me once they get their commissions. And all 5 of them didn't do shit. They gave up. The reason why they gave up is because they got training materials for free. If you get something for free, you don't see the value. You have to pay attention. Think about it. The last sample tester you ever got given, you've forgotten about it. But when you've paid for something so expensive, let's say if I said to you, when was the last free sample smoothie you ever got given? You've forgotten. But if I say to you, what was the most expensive smoothie you've ever paid for? You remember, because you paid attention to that. It's the same with training. When you pay and invest financially into something, you take it seriously. So when we're doing role plays, I say we're doing a role play on the 10th, they wouldn't turn up because it was free and they wasted my time. So another thing a lot of people say is, how can I fit it into my schedule? I've not got the time. You have got the time. The reason why you have got the time is, if you could see the amount of time you spend on Netflix in a week, the amount of time you spend texting friends in a week on pointless shit, the amount of times you spend doom scrolling on Instagram, just scrolling, watching short-term content. If you put 3 to 4 hours every week in learning remote sales, you will do so well. And that's, let's say if you're in a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, on a Sunday, put in 2 hours. You're just doom scrolling or catching up on Love Island or something. So watch 2 hours of that, of training. On Monday, after work, 1 hour, just review your calls and ask me any questions or do role plays with me for an hour on Monday. That's 3 hours you've put into training in a week. On Friday, maybe just say to the lads, oh, I'm not going for work drinks. I'm just gonna have an early one. You come home and you only put an hour into training. That's 4 hours you've put into training and you've not drastically changed anything. You've not asked for time off. You've not said to your boss, oh, I need to take some few days off to do some training. You've not said that. You're still keeping your same lifestyle, but making remote sales fit into that. Another thing I say to people is, once you start training and you start getting into remote sales, don't go and drop your 9 to 5. You have bills to pay, okay? Make remote sales, put calls in your calendar, fit your schedule. This is not a demanding thing where you've got to do calls on Mondays mornings. No, you fit your call calendar. You fit the calls you're getting booked into your calendar. Then once you've saved enough money and you see it's working for you, the offer is working for you, you then leave your 9 to 5. This is not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to just be making 10K in the first week. So let remote sales fit your lifestyle. I don't want you to be messaging me, calling me and saying, you ruined my life. You told me to drop my 9 to 5. You told me this is going to be the next big Bitcoin. I didn't say that to you. Remote sales is not for you if you're not coachable. If you're getting on one-to-one calls and you're saying, no, it's not done like that, and this is how I want to do it, don't do remote sales. It's not for you. Another reason why you shouldn't do remote sales is if you want something that's easy and a get rich quick scheme, like it's e-com, it's Forex, this is not what this is about. The reason why people change their lives in the space of 12 months, like myself, going from £2,000 to now making $30,000 every month with remote sales, is because it's difficult and it's rewarding. You're turning up, you're consistently listening. If you're tired of your 9 to 5 and you want more from life, you're tired of that golden ankle, you're tired of that ceiling in your 9 to 5, click below and book a call with us and we'll show you what the steps will be to getting financial freedom with remote sales. If you're in remote sales and you were just like me and I spent 2 years first applying to offers, sending my Loom videos, and you're tired of not finding the right offers, click below and book a call with us and we can get you access to the roles that you deserve.